Alright, welcome back to another Art Time video. Today I'll be doing a drawing of something that I have been working on off camera because I wanted to watch some videos. We are drawing Lieutenant Liam, the lieutenant of the Cadmium faction in the Chrome Wars universe. So with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Now then, let's get right into it. So, Lieutenant Liam is a Swedish man. He's mostly inspired off of Switsguard from what was it called? Metalocalypse. That's the one I'm looking for. I almost said the other thing. Which, by the way, we're making good progress on that. What episode are we on right now? We're on episode 55, I think. Yep, 55. We're getting quite close to the end. It's going to be a shame once that's, finished. But yeah, no, I can even show you what the first drawing of him looked like. You probably have already seen it if you looked at that one character. That's the wrong folder. Go to 14. This is the way it looked like before. Terrible. Stiff. I'm not even going to increase the image. This is what he looked like. I accidentally increased the image. Terrible. Now look at him. Looks nicer. And is riding a gallow. Essentially, this universe's version of a horse because the horses in this universe went extinct. So, of course, the only horse mount there is now are these mech horses. So they're going to say mechanical, and that is technically true, but they're more mechs than they are anything. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. So, I don't know what to talk about. Alright, I was planning on, doing a video of the outline and all the other stuff in there, but, and I didn't really have anything to talk about, so I just decided, let's just make a video anyway for, the shading and the probably maybe finishing of the entirety of this drawing here anyways, just because. I mean, there's not too much I could talk about right now. I mean, I guess I could talk about it in a game that I've been playing recently, which makes sense when if you know the kind of person I am with the kind of games that I play. So if anybody know of a game called Breath of the Wild, right? You know that game? We're not playing that game. We played it long ago, but we're talking about a game that's similar to it, and I'm pretty sure you know what that is. And it's a free-to-play game too. If you haven't figured it out yet, let's try to keep giving you hints. I'm playing it on the PlayStation, of course, because I don't really have a whole lot of space on here. And plus, I think I have to download it from the website. I look at it on Steam, and be like, oh, I don't see it on Steam, so maybe it's on a different website. So, yeah, if you haven't figured it out yet, it's a new game we've been playing. After the frustrations of having to deal with Hollow Knight and trying to freaking get to 100% at least, we decided to go for a somewhat easier game. Well, so far easy, it's probably going to get pain in the ass hard later on, but we'll deal with that when it comes down to the line. The game we're talking about is Genshin Impact. And we, as most of these kinds of games, are free to play. Free to play. We don't technically speaking, we don't pay to win. We don't pay anything in those. When it comes to mobile games, like Crush 'Em All, for instance, I don't pay any money on it whatsoever. The only mobile game that I had made an exception for was a game called Roguelife. Let me see if I can actually find a picture of my 3 favorite characters from that particular game. The game is dead, by the way. Server shut down, and then was brought back to life. It was kind of a mistake. That's chicken. Chicken? Where was it? Anyways, it was a mistake for them to bring the game back, because I think it was brought back under a different company name. Alright, I'm not going to find it this way. I need to go to JPEG file and... Thief? Was it? No. Rogue? Was that? Ah, there it is. Alright, where is it? No, where is it? What folder? 31. Okay, got it. 31. We were close. Not really, no. I should have seen Ginny there. I forgot what the girls' names were. Some of them. But yes, Roguelife. Kid, Jenny, I think Xiaomi. It's been so long. This is a pretty... I don't want to say it's an old drawing, but it is definitely completely different from, like, what my style is. But yes, that was the only game that I had spent a tiny bit of money on. And it was mainly because of a character named Vincent. And at that point, I was like, yeah, I like the game enough. Why not? I'll support the developers in this one. And going back to Crush Them All, apparently... What are you doing back there? Let me look. I'm gonna grab this on so making think I'm gonna grab your toy, but I'm not. But yes, that's like the only mobile game I've ever really spent any money on, and it was just to support the devs at that point, as well as get characters. Do I have all the characters? Weird that he was like the only character in the game who you had to spend money to get, but it was fine. The game was actually pretty decent, pretty fun, but I think the game mostly suffered in the end of lack of content. Probably because they couldn't really get enough money to keep the servers. Obviously, they couldn't get keep the servers running. They shut the servers down. Wait, you have more of a sunk-in face, kind of. It's a shame, really. I missed that game to an extent, but leave it as is. Even though the game's been brought back, I forgot what the name was that had been brought back to, but from what I've been reading in the reviews and stuff like that, they brought back the game as it was like what's what I'm looking for? It's a shell of its former self, brought back from certain updates and all that stuff. It's just awful. Like, I'll talk about that in a minute. We could talk about the dead mobile games. Well, let's just talk about the games that I'm playing at the moment. Well, I've only really been able to get like I don't know, like maybe 10, not 10, probably around 8 total hours. Played it on the weekends, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'll try this out. Yeah, it was Saturday. And I downloaded it, played it after my show. Wait, no, did I play it? No, I think I did play it before the shows came on. And I was at that point where I was waiting for it to download and be like, okay, you know what, I might as well just try to get through this godforsaken Pantheon crap while I wait for this thing to download. Got through the first one, no problem, despite the fact, the first Pantheon, what was it, Pantheon of Masters, with the 2 brothers that don't have the paintbrush. It took us a second attempt after, like, some time coming away from the game to beat them, which was surprising, to say the least. I was surprised that I remembered most of the boss's patterns and stuff like that. And the artist one only took 1 attempt, thankfully. And like I said before the stage, we stopped because of freaking Grim, and I didn't feel like fighting that douchebag again. So then we stopped after that, decided, screw the Pantheon, I'm just going to beat the final boss. I already have the requirements for the quote-unquote true ending. Apparently, according to the devs, there is no true ending. But I already got the 100% ending, the void ending, the one that seems like it would be the more true ending, but it, like the devs said, there's no real true ending. So yeah. And then after that was finished, the game finished downloading, and we went to play that. I didn't make the connections until like a few hours in, but I started to realize that this game's kind of similar to Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, but more RPG, JRPG element kind of sort of stuff there. I don't know how I feel about the level up system, though. I guess it makes sense. Go throughout the world, collect some stuff, and, I guess for the weaponry, you gotta collect weapons to improve upon weapons as well as the shards and stuff, which that one I'm fine with. It's the level up system for the characters for some reason is weird to me. Which is not that, bad. It just, I guess it makes sense for a free-to-play game. Because I'm on console, I expect that stuff on mobile. We haven't really had too many issues with the game as of is. With only 1 death because we forgot that fall damage was the thing, and, well, Thankfully, it only counts towards the one character, and thankfully it's not as annoying as most other game deaths, and mainly because of stupidity. But yes, that is what we've been doing for like a few bits of. I guess I could tell you where I am at the story right now. We just got the harp thing, and we got ourselves a decent team set up for the beginning, I guess. I think we only got like two characters who are legal on our team, if you know what I mean. Because if you know anything about Genshin Impact, there's a whole lot of memes out there about the players, or at least some of the players, going after lollies and stuff like that. Which makes sense, I guess, if the community is as toxic as they say it is. But I don't really go to communities, I usually just lurk. Besides, I'm probably not going to go to the Reddit yet until I've beaten the game, or if there is even an ending to the game. I looked up on Reddit for the few things where I was looking up for, the references, the comparisons between Breath of the Wild and this game. Apparently, they say that the story is still ongoing, which is weird to say the least. How long has this game been out? And the story still be ongoing? Yeah, whatever. It's a decent game. I like running around, killing animals, then killing creatures, then collecting stuff. And one thing I liked about Breath of the Wild was just like exploring, collecting stuff, opening. I mean, in this one, it feels like exploring has a lot more merit to it. Explore to get a whole bunch of equipment to upgrade other equipment. The one thing I really like about this is weapons don't break after many uses. And one thing I never really enjoyed about Breath of the Wild was weapons constantly breaking on you. Once you've gotten to like a certain point, though, that wasn't too big of an issue. Once you got to a point where you can easily like kill a whole bunch of the Lionels without like breaking much of a sweat, you were able to get like a decent amount of good weapons. I usually went for the sword ones because it was like a really good one-and-done swing. The first time I played that game, I tried to avoid those Lionels like the plague, but then when I came back like years later, I'm like, oh, these guys aren't that bad. I figured out how to play this more properly at this second attempt, and then I just decided to kill a whole bunch of white Lionels. Part of me kind of wonders if I should try out the Masters mode. I have that, but I don't know if I really want to deal with that. See, thing is, the game in the beginning is a little bit annoying and hard sometimes. When you get further into it, though, it gets really easy. So I feel like the beginning portion of Master Mode would just be me wanting to punch a million walls with the force of Armstrong himself. But, I don't know. Maybe if I decide to go back to it for a third time and go to Master's Mode. Depends. I heard there's a Lionel on the freaking starting cliff area, which is kind of terrible when you think about it. But, yeah. It's nice to have, like, another Breath of the Wild-esque kind of game to enjoy. At least until the second one comes out, which I have no clue when that's coming out. I can tell you one thing, though. I found my most favorite character immediately, and I didn't even think it... Alright, so, obviously, there's, like, a lot of characters to choose from. So there's still many characters left. But I already have someone that I seem to enjoy a whole bunch. And don't worry, she's MILF material. If you all know who I'm talking about, and being this early on in the game... No, not Jean, even though she is cute too. No, I'm talking about Lisa, the Electro Mommy. You know, even though I'm pretty sure she's not a mother, but she could be. She could be. At the very least, she and Amber are like the only legal characters in my team. I was lucky enough to get Noelle, which is actually a really good character to have for someone like Lisa. Noelle's defense turtle shell thing, whatever the hell that power is called, is really good for Noelle's elemental burst. I think that's what it's called. Allowing for her to, like, you know, stand in the middle of a whole bunch of enemies and take a crap ton of damage without losing health. And then, explosion. Destroys all the enemies. Well, not all of them. But I gotta say, it's a pretty good combo right there. I like it. I like her a lot. It's got that kind of voice to her as well. Part of me also kind of like wanted to like not utilize the wish thing and just use the characters that it gave to me as well. Because the blue-headed guy, the ice guy, is really good for stamina stuff. But Noel's Claymore is very useful for destroying the iron deposits, of which I destroy a whole bunch of, despite the fact that I feel like the iron is kind of pointless. Because you get only like one of those things at the blacksmith. And, once you get to a certain point and level up all the weapons, because right now I gotta wait to get to adventure rank 15 to actually do anything with the weaponry. Or not weaponry, the upgrades, which I'm hoping that's the only limitation, and it's not like, you need to be level 25 in adventure or something to be able to get, level 41 to 60 weapons, or something like that. Like, there's something at adventure level 15 that you have to, like, unlock first before you can actually start increasing everyone's maximum level. That kind of stuff is what I'm hoping for. Probably not. Knowing most of these types of games. This game so far I'm enjoying a lot, though. I like the exploration, and I like collecting the chests and collecting those floating things to make my stamina better. And then there's, another free-to-play game that I've enjoyed a lot was Warframe. Man, I can't tell you how many freaking hours I've placed into Warframe. If I can only figure out a way to make another save without, like, having to make another account. Because that was the issue with Warframe, was the fact that you weren't able to, like, delete your save, your profile. Once you've made it, that's it. Which kind of sucks for, like, I don't know why. It's just for some reason I can't seem to go back to the game with all of the stuff in there. I like have to restart all over again. But it's fine. It's fine. It's a free-to-play game. I just need to make a crap ton of emails and remember what those emails' passwords are. It just depends on if I want to have a Warframe series on here. If for whatever reason the Minecraft ROTC series ends, which seems unlikely because we got a lot of builds in mind, a lot of other types of, like, in my head I think, man, this is like, once these builds are done, what else is there? That's it. I keep forgetting there's multiple other builds we can do. Horse tracks are a good build to do, race tracks. And we have 2 areas to go to at the moment. Maybe soon to be 3 with the Jungle Hub. The Swamp Hub is not going to be the Swamp Hub, but more so the Slime Coliseum. Assuming I can just have a whole bunch of, like, flat lighting on the ground. I think I could. Assuming I can put a crap ton of redstone lanterns on the ground. Separate it all in grid pattern or something. Because I know that slimes down in the, down in the mines will still spawn even when the room is completely well lit. Trust me, I know. Before the whole mobs can only spawn at, like, light levels of 7 or below. My entire strip mine was 8 or above. Or probably 9 or above, I don't remember. I don't remember, like, what the maximum was. Or the minimum was, I mean. All I know was that the slime still spawned despite the fact that the entire area was well lit. I imagine it still works the same way in the swamps. And if not, we can just go on ahead and... well, we can still put the redstone lighting there. Go on ahead and have the slime spawn in alongside a whole bunch of other enemies. Then we just flip a switch, and go in, wipe out every single enemy. Which we should be able to do now. If the next episode is anything to go about, assuming that I get this drawing done with today, which I should be able to. I don't want to spoil anything, but we got ourselves some good stuff happening in episode 52. I can't say this, at the very least, Zombie Tower is finishing up. And that's your only hint. If you want to see what that good thing is, go watch the video. You don't even have to watch it all the way through, once you want to see the decoration part. Okay, that's all the shading on him. Oh wait, no, the shoes, of course. I almost forgot the shoes. But yeah, back to Genshin Impact. I got a really good character combo going here. I don't care for the main character too much. And I got like a minor gripe with the main character to an extent. But right now I got like a good combo going. I've got Amber and Elisa, the only two legal members of the team, who has this nice elemental effect when it comes to, you got yourself fire and electricity creates an overcharge effect that basically is, what was it, like an explosive burst of something, right? Really good explosive burst to kind of like knock weaker enemies down on their asses, you know what I mean? And plus, I like the ranger type character. Range-based characters. Noelle is still a good combo whenever I want to utilize Lisa's R2 ability. Drink time! Although, I will say it's weird that attack is circle. Granted, I could change that whenever. But it is weird attack is circle. Considering the fact that I'm just coming off of Hollow Knight, where attack is square. I mean, I'll talk about they don't attack square. But yeah, gotta say, a nice game. Liking it so far. Don't let the memes fool you. It's a decent game. If you like Breath of the Wild, you'll like this one. If you like JRPGs and Breath of the Wild, you'll like this one. I don't care for the gacha crap, though. Nor do I want to really, buy into that shite. I'll just work on the characters that I've been given. If I do get enough to be able to make a poll or something, I'll do a poll, see if I can get a good character. If I don't, well, it don't matter. I really don't know who's good or who's not good, so I'm just gonna work on who I've got and make them stronger instead. I've already given Lisa the best artifacts possible. Well, not possible. I'm sure there's a 5-star legendary artifact somewhere, but we got a 4-star artifact at the moment. I'm still going to work on getting all the characters, the stuff that they need to get. See if I can find some good combinations, see if I can find good character combinations. It'd be a shame to say that I might not be playing as Lisa once the time comes. If I do find a really good combo of characters and stuff. Doubtful. Doubtful mainly because it seems like getting any good characters might require me to get lucky on a poll. Like I got Noelle, for instance. I don't think you were supposed to get her at all, and whatever that fire chef girl was who uses a pole weapon. Forgot her name. Don't really care about her too much. She's the only character in the team not leveled up. I only leveled up Ice Bro because he was needed in we did get the harp, I did say, so those who know where I'm at right now. But regardless of that, there's still a whole lot of exploration, it seems. The map is pretty huge. It's kind of nice, gotta say. If you want to play, if you like those kinds of games, you should play it. Free to play. Don't let the free to play stance fool you. Actually, matter of fact, to keep y'all's coming back to these videos, I'll give you updates every now and again when let's just say, see how the game's going so far. See where we're at. See if we're being annoyed by some nonsense. I've come across a couple of boss fights that are level 36. Obviously, I ran the hell away from there. Lisa got her ass frozen for a second, but thankfully the meal we ate before healed all that up. Just frozen skin, frostbite, the pain, meal inside stomach, pain and frostbite gone, skin back to normal. Just, I don't know why it's funny. Any games that involve you eating to get your food up is funny. Same with Breath of the Wild. Link's just there, stomach cut in half, arm pretty much gone, head kind of all red. Good, nice, lank, giant-ass meal with hearty food. Everything gone. Our arm magically grows. Wait, no. Arm magically grows back. The face back to normal. And stomach, despite the fact that the stomach is completely wide open, completely healed now. I mean, if we want to go realistic terms, getting hit with a freaking Lionel's sword probably is going to cause some severe, deep lacerations. So it's even more hilarious to think of food just automatically healing that shit up. It's same with Minecraft, too. What's with food and having automatic healing properties? We got ourselves a whole bunch of games that have food as healing items. You got like a very deep bullet wound inside of your heart. Consume food, you'll be fine. That's what spoilers for Borderlands 2. That's what Roland was missing. He should have brought a nice juicy piece of meat with him, consumed it, and the bullet hole and the bullet in his heart would be gone. Jack wouldn't stand a chance if they just ate food. Ah, man, food. Food, the best type of healing potion in any game whatsoever. It's just hilarious to think. How many games out there utilizes food to heal up from near-death experience? Same kind of applies to like Deus Ex Machina, not Machina, Deus Ex Human Revelations. Maybe Machina. I've only ever played the Deus Ex games with Adam Jensen. Maybe they had it. Where he just stuffs a whole bunch of energy bars inside of his mouth and constantly tries to get... Wait. That's the energy, never mind. It's been a while since I played that game. Or maybe there was food. There probably was food. Or maybe... I do remember Stem Pack, but maybe there was also food in that game where you healed up. Well, regardless, a lot of games out there have a whole bunch of food that you have to consume to heal up from near-death experience. And it's weird, but it's hilarious. Alright, anyways, any who's and wits. Well, you see... yeah, the mobile... Right, of course. Okay, the mobile games. Give me a second. I'm burping. Anyways. So, I've already told this before, but I'll say it again. So, I've gone through 2 iterations of mobile games whose servers were shut down. One mobile game who had its server shut down, remember that's 31, I think this one's in 20, was a game called Monster Sweepers, and a character that I played and enjoyed a lot, and also kind of indicative to my current playstyle and Crush Them All, with all fire characters. A character that I played a lot as, and this is from album 20, it still looks like a pretty good drawing. A character by the name of Rose, who is a, pirate girl with guns. Think about maybe drawing her again at some point. Although I don't think I have her. I don't think I have the thing anymore, do I? That was such an old game, too. I might not even have the picture anymore. It's a shame, really, what happened to the game. Yeah, I don't think I have her picture anymore. Or at least not on the computer. Maybe... No, I have it on the phone. This is an old game. Where is it? Misk. No, that's Misk. Go to the draw. To draw. Here we are. Nope. I do have this drawing that I was planning on doing at some point. Just this. You can barely even see it. It's a zoom in. Wait, there we go. This, but with a Viking axe. You know, the grandma from Hey Arnold, but with a Viking axe and just like a whole bunch of Viking grandma, Hey Arnold grandmas from the north, and like a nice winter-esque kind of drawing. Just a funny, weird drawing, but I can't even get to any of those because I got so many other drawings planned for the fan art department. I've already gotten next limitation period's fan art department figured out. So unfortunately, I can't do that. But it's there. forever if I need to use it. But yes, back to the topic at hand. The Monster Sweepers game was essentially just a game where you were a whole bunch of characters on this tank ship kind of thing, and you were mowing down enemies or with your guns and other sorts of like weaponry, and killing them all. If your tank took too much damage, it was game over, which was kind of strange to think. Can't we all just go on foot and just destroy them? Our guns are obviously strong enough to just destroy the enemies. Why do we need a tank? Either way, the game was going through just fine. And one day, I think there was some forum we were looking at this time. We weren't using Discord, nor were we using Reddit at the time, for some reason. I don't know why. Well, we weren't using those at the time. But the forums that we were reading show that the game servers were shutting down. Shutting down indeed they were. It was a shame, really. Despite the game pissing me off in many different instances, I still stuck through it and still enjoyed it to some extent. Outside of the frustrating moments, obviously like the very difficult parts of it. Also because we were only using fire heroes. I think we kind of made it more difficult on ourselves, regardless. That game shut down. It was a shame, really. But we found another game. Another game that we stuck for a long time. Got decent equipment at that point. Maxed out on certain equipment, but not all of it. This game was Roguelife. You remember the drawing I showed you of those girls not too long ago, right? This is this drawing right here, these girls. So the game played similarly to Monster Sweepers, except there was no tank, and you had 3 characters, and you were going down like a road and killing all the enemies in your path. Simple, right? This one had a little bit more intuitiveness to it because you have to dodge enemy attacks and all that stuff. I don't remember if you could just... Because I think if an enemy were to shoot at you in that game, I don't think you were able to, like, stop the bullet or destroy it. I don't remember. It's been a while. I think you just have to, like, tank it. There was a lot of melee-based enemies, but there was also a bunch of other enemies who were just, like... Yeah, there should have been a way to, like, prevent enemies from, like, destroying your tank. If there was a way, then I've forgotten. I mean, you know how long it's been since I played that game? Probably, like, more than 5 years, I think. Jeez, I don't know when that was. Huh. Because I know I know the servers didn't shut down before I drew, soon before I draw Rose. I did want to draw her for a while now, but I was never able to get to it until a later point. So the servers didn't shut down then. No, they shut down at a different time. But anyways, yeah. We go through this game. There's like some grinding to it, like go in, log in, do like daily tasks and crap that you can do with all the characters that you've got. And once you've done all the daily tasks and done like certain other things, there's also PvP, which was kind of annoying. PvP felt entirely pointless. I don't remember if you had any control over your characters, and if you did... Oh, I think you did, but I think it was like... It's more of a case of you were either going to overpower your enemies or they were going to overpower you. So the PvP in that game was massively pointless and annoying at times. Same with Crush Them All's PvP. That was more like strategy, that game is more about strategy and hero compositions and like hero levels than it is about actual gameplay. Which kind of sucks to an extent, but what can you do? It's an idle game, not a game where you can... you do have ultimates that you can activate, but you don't use them anything outside of PvP. Outside of PvE, PvP, you don't use your ultimates. All the PvP content, you have no ultimates, so you have no say on how you do things there. Anyways, I think there was like a guild at like the end of the game's lifespan, and like kind of like what Slayer boss is, raid boss is kind of. We had that too. But But because the game was somewhat dying out, and at that point we didn't really want to be a part of any guilds at the time. And we didn't really do too much in that department. Didn't really matter anyways, because soon after the game's server shut down. I believe it was around March 7th. I vaguely remember that date. I don't know why. I don't know why I remember that date. I don't know why I remember that dates. Why do I remember that dates? You can't tell I'm trying to reference Swissguard over here. Swissguard. I don't know why I keep calling them Swissguards. That seems terrible. Swissguard makes sense. Like a Swissguard army knife or something. Swissguard knife. Anyways. Yeah, the servers were going to shut down soon. At that point, I decided to grab the images of the characters. And went on ahead, decided to draw them soon after the server shut down. And that was it. Matter of fact, let me go to the thing and see, when was that? I don't remember when album 31 was. Let me see the properties of the JPEG for a second. October 5th, 2021. No, I don't think that's it. This is weird, because it's saying it was created on October 5th, but it's saying it's modified on November 9th. But created 2021, modified 2018. I don't know, something about it doesn't seem right. Let me go to the Photoshop documents. Let me see if that's something different. Arrgh. That was November 9th, 2018. Huh. What? Nah. Now, I think the server, they gave us a month or 2 month notice. I think chances are the game might have just shut down at 2017. Was it 2017? Actually, there's a better way to go about doing this. Oh, nice! The video has been uploaded and is now ready to be scheduled for Thursday. Cool. I'm going to go over to DeviantArt and see when exactly I posted that. Rogues for Life. 6. Are you kidding me? Is it because you see Rogue and Life there? Whatever. Huh. Really now? November 9th, 2018. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, that was right. Thing old, what was it? Yeah, Jenny was the first character you got, the blue hair witch you have already seen. Actually, I could probably just bring the drawing out, because why not? Yeah, Jenny was the first character you unlocked. She's the blue-haired witch. Then there's Kid, who I think I had to unlock by spending whatever currency it is that you earn through certain, means or whatever. It was either that or beat a whole bunch of, PvP rounds, which is kind of annoying. She's the white-haired pirate thief girl in the middle outlier. And then later on I unlocked Chayomi. There's another character in the game who's a girl, but those three were the ones I liked. Is there... Hold on, let me see. Did I say when this shut down? Yeah, I wasn't too keen on the voices they had. The voices sounded weird. Thankfully, I was able to mute the voices in the settings. But, yeah. Let's see. I don't think I said anything about this entire game being shut down on a certain date. Oh, God. This quote right here. Another world closed off, and now I fear for my Vulcan girl. But so far, Krosamal seems to be doing good for now. Oh boy, was 2019 me very hot. 2018 me. That's when, hold on. That was 4 years ago. Not 4 years ago, exactly. A little over 3 years ago. I went back to that game a little over 3 years ago. Oh boy, oh wonderful. History repeats itself for a third time. Jesus Christ. Now I fear that What album was that again? I can't seem to remember. Was it 41? Now I fear that my adorable Vulcan girl, Volca, who I've named after that mature drawing, will also soon be lost to me in the worlds that close before us, because the game developers, in a sense, is greedy. God, you should see the shit show on Discord right now. Ugh. But yeah, server shut down. I went over to crush them all. Game was doing good. PvP was annoying as per usual, although I always hate PvP regardless. Sorry, guild mates who probably are not watching this. I hate the PvP in that game with a passion, yet I'm still sticking with it, because I cannot leave Volca behind. I might as well stick with the game until the bitter end. I wonder how they all feel about this here world maybe soon to be dying out because the developers are greedy. And watch, it's the same thing that's going to happen again. The world gets brought back, but it's a greedy mess. All this stuff, it's literally like, there's no, like, I don't know, it's just like, the other two worlds got brought back, the other two games got brought back, but from what I've read, they are all, and from the reviews, they're all just like that about like the current state of how everything is. So yes. If I had a nickel for every mobile game that I got invested in and had its server shut down, I'd have 3 nickels. Which is not a lot, but it's weird that that's about to happen a third time. Why again? And in this instance, because now we have Discord. Now we've got Reddit. Well, okay, Discord is actually where most of it is. Reddit, everyone just thinks everything is fine. I think Reddit is where all the new players are looking at it and be like, someone visited, I don't like this new gold thing. Has everybody talked about this gold thing yet? Son, let me introduce you to the Discord app. So many people are complaining about this, and so many people left because of this. Let me tell you why everyone is complaining about this feature. In the game, there's this shop. In the shop button, when you go ahead and spend some of your hard-earned flues, there's this item where you can go ahead and spend flues for gold. Let me tell you why that's bad. The gold in this game is freaking pointless. Because all you gotta do is just if you control your village levels, the things out of which you need to upgrade to be able to get your characters to go on ahead and progress in staging, if you focus on keeping that kind of relatively smooth and ongoing, you don't need gold at that point. And I can even not show you because it's going to be a pain in the ass to show you. So there's this feature in the game where you can skip multiple shop levels. I don't know where the hell I'm at in that. Maybe there's a statistics somewhere. Maybe I can look for it. That's not here. It would be in stats. Here we go. Let me see. Village shop level bonus after ascend, I think that... Is that what it... No, that can't be it. That's too high. Is it? Is that it? That seems weird. What? That seems weird, right? No way it's that high, is it? 100, 200, 300, 400, 450, 550, 650, 750, 850, 950, 1050, 1150, 1250, 1350, 1350, 1500, 165, yes, 165. Oh. Yeah, we are actually pretty far. Huh. Okay. Alright, so maybe 2,000 is not too far off. Yeah, we get 2,327 levels. We're not full yet, but I can at least show you where the hell I'm at on the scale. Light be gone! We're here on the Scriptorium. Not 150 exactly. I gotta spend some, like, of this to get up there. But it's literally like 10 seconds. This button, this right here, is a button that everyone is just, they've gone apeshit over. And if you got the shop level ascension, 2,000 like I'm at, you just get over here. Oh, and see, here's my Vulcan girl. Strange how I am, for some reason, attracted to this and not all of the other characters who are more attractive. You can't even see it here because, actually, hold on. I could just get a picture of her. Because I have her. Not here. No, to draws. Here we go. Let's go. There she is. She doesn't have art like most of the other characters, which is kind of annoying. But yes. That, my friends, is why gold is pointless. So, now you saw the reason why many people are quitting the game, and why many people are complaining about it. And you saw a little button about that. I'm looking at VIP 3 because I've been playing the game for like years, no, not years, probably around 2 years maybe. And with some of the ads, I'm getting close to VIP 4. Which is good for the shop ascension bonus, which could... I would like to get to a point where I can get to the castle and then not have to worry about upgrading any of the shops. Which would be great. It means I don't have to worry about staging. All I gotta do is just go into the thing, click on upgrade all heroes button, and boom, be done. And by the time we get to that, the game's servers will all be shut down because I get the feeling that there's not going to be a whole lot of players. All the new players coming in are being dissuaded because of all the nonsense that the greedy developers put in. They have been slowed down in massive progress. And many nerfs to shadow nerfs even. A lot of nonsense going on there. But yes, that button right there is bad for a few things. The button that you go into the shop for, the one that you can click to get the bonus gold thing, gives you a confirmation saying, are you sure you want to spend this blues? You sure this is what you want? Well, let me tell you right now, there's better things you can spend this here flues on. You could spend it on like some deals over here to get some boosts and upgrades. Because when you get to a certain point, flues isn't really that important. I mean, I guess if you want to get like, try to get like the best ruins possible, spending a crap ton of flues on the epic ruins chest is the perfect thing to do. But right now, I gotta get focused on Dragonia now, thanks to the Fire Blitz hero being added to the game. Blitz heroes are a pain in the ass because they're all flues. And with the 8-star, TNT would be maxed right now if it wasn't for 8-star nonsense. That's another thing. The developers added 8-star for some stupid reason, and because of the 8-star upgrade, they had to like crunch the numbers now because they weren't expecting for all the power levels to be that. And also Paragon too. Paragon's, I guess, not that bad. It's not that bad. A little bit more upgrades for my characters, I guess. But still, the 8-star shit, that should not have happened. Because I was so close to being able to get everyone a 7-star, even the seasonal heroes, because if you know how the seasonal heroes work, getting them the 7-star is a pain in the ass, because the certain currency, or not currency, an item in this game you can get called magic metals, you use to increase their, the metals that you need to upgrade their, Guess what? Seasonal heroes can't use those for some stupid reason. There's a few other heroes that can't use them as well. And, of course, with that being said, there's two characters that I want to use, but I can't use to the fullest extent because getting them to the next star level is a million pain in the asses. Shelly, at the very least, can get, Red, or as I like to call her, the Red, to reference Knuckles for some reason. Mary Monkey, Dragonia, and Shelly are the only ones who have yet to make it to 7-star. Volca is the only one who's made it to 8-star, but Volca and the Tiny Dragon, Baby Dragon, are the only ones who made the 8-star so far, which makes sense because they're common heroes. And everyone else is 7. A lot of people are 7-6. I think there's only like, what, 8 more heroes left. We'll have to get to maximum weapon level now, because everyone is 8 or above now. Alright, that's Liam right here. We'll keep going. I'm on a roll right now. I finally got a good conversational topic here. I'm going to draw Liam in like the raining Alpines. That's what Sweden is like, right? Rain. Does it rain a lot in Sweden? Whoops, in Sweden. I don't know, Sweden's received between 500 and 800 millimeters? Is that? No, that can't be it. Millimeters? Well, 500, 800 millimeters, which makes sense if it's saying 20 to 31 inches. Participation each year, making it considerably drier than that. Wait, what? Drier? Does Sweden not rain a lot? I remember mistaking Jack saying that it rains a lot in Ireland and Sweden's not. And it wasn't PewDiePie saying, I don't remember. I don't focus on their lives as much. Swedish Alpines? Right? They have Alpines and stuff? Or Alps? Wait, seriously? I guess we could have some snowy mountains in the background. Alright, cool. Let's close that. I don't need to look at that. I got my own landscaping style to do. We're not doing the whole Bob Ross tribute video yet. And I see you. These insects are stupid. They're entering the insect killer's domain. Oh god. No, I think we're fine. Maybe everything's a little bit yellow now. I don't know. We had a weird thing where like in the beginning of recording with my camera, face cam here, the camera was orange for some reason. I don't know why it was like that. When I brushed the camera a bit, and then it stopped being orange. I don't quite understand. I think it may have been because part of my hair might have been in the way. Which makes sense, I got brown hair. Well, brownish reddish, I guess. What color is this? So when I look at it in their light, it looks more red. Anywho's in which, it doesn't matter. So what were we talking about again? Something about... Oh yeah, that's right. What we've got left in the Crush 'Em All game. So, as I've said before, pretty much everyone's at 7-star. Like, everyone would have been maxed at this point if it wasn't for the 8-star nonsense. Which really sucked. For those that want to try to, like, utilize seasonal heroes to the best of their ability but can't because of this 8-star nonsense, yeah. I'm not going to say Godzilla was perfect, but they were a hell of a lot better than IO. Imperial Online Games. You guys suck. You guys don't even have a good community. Like, you don't communicate with your community. You treat them all like they're the product or some shit. It's like you're trying to test the waters to see how much you're going to piss people off. You're sacrificing this game for your own freaking bullcrap. And it's nonsense. It's stupid. You're sacrificing a once good game for your own bullcrap. And I hope this reputation sticks with you for as long as it does. I hope that anybody who hears the name IO Games says that, oh, yeah, no, don't play any games from those guys. They run the games into the ground and kill the games. And I hope that one day you make your own project, that you've done all the research. You've killed like dozens upon dozens of games to try to improve upon your own model for your own games. And I hope that all of those corpses of games you've left behind leads your game down in the ground in the mud, drowning, never to see the light of day. I hope that's what happens. I hope you step on a Lego. I hope your balls get entangled. Go, Gadget, your balls are now entangled. That's annoying. Well, I will say this much for a fact. We will not be forgetting Volka. You might kill the game, but she will never be forgotten. It's funny too. Amongst all the talking, I've had an idea for this particular type of beat-em-up game, console-wise, but, you know, a game that goes off of my favorite characters. I'll go on ahead and bring up all the pictures again, because why not? Okay, why the hell is this 4.70? The thing keeps expanding. Slowly but surely. I need to uninstall some stuff. Apparently. Alright. A game with all of my favorites who the worlds have been where is it? There she is. Whose worlds have been abandoned by either greedy companies, because let's be honest, I have no clue of their world. All of these 5 characters who have been abandoned. Well, you have yet to be abandoned, but I know how this goes. I've lived through it twice. All these 5 characters who have been abandoned shall not be forgotten. Sorry for all the other characters in those games. You're not that important, apparently. You will not be forgotten, for I have a game idea. If I ever do become a game developer at some point, which may be the case. I'm thinking over Paint Maze for a bit, and Unity and stuff like that, thinking about how I'm just going to do things here. But if I do get to that point, I would more than likely go on ahead and buy those characters off of their current owners and say, hey, I want to buy these characters from you. And, you know, the games themselves, might be a little bit expensive to buy the games themselves, but if I buy the names, and assuming that my company is, like, you know, it has enough money to actually, you know, buy characters. In my head, I'm thinking these characters are only going to cost us, like, what, maybe $1,500 in total. Both dead games. Well, 2 of them dead games. One's going to be dead soon, but at the time that happens, ugh. So maybe not that bad. Plus, Volka's common girl, apparently. How dare they force her to be a common. And of course, you've got yourselves the main character of one game. Which, like, there's gotta be, like, some, like, maybe those characters were, I don't know. Rose could be a part of, like, an anime that I've never heard of. And that's just, like, a game for an anime. Or the game was, because the character art is pretty decent, like, for all the characters, so it has to be some form of anime, right? I don't know, maybe it won't matter in the future. Maybe it'll be like, I want to buy the rights to use these characters for this game I'm making, and hopefully that would work. Surely I can buy the rights, right? Especially if they don't, like, do anything with the game anymore at that point. Whoops. These, like, giant puddle what do you call it? So the background here isn't really going to be that complex. We should be done with this within an hour's time. Right now, we're almost an hour in. So, well, let's see, around the 2-hour mark. I really should have tried to draw and color and shade and all that in the video. Or, no, draw and color in the video, but, oh, whatever. It's fine, it's fun. What are you doing? You were doing so good staying inside the blanket, sleeping like a baby. The cat's 2 years old, by the way. Her birthday's past. Don't you worry at me. Are you in heat mode? Alright, ground 1A. I saved the gallows swash, right? I'll do it again just in case. So, yeah, the game. The game with those 5 characters. Sorry I made y'all lose, but that wasn't my intention. Sorry, Kate, if you're watching this. I doubt it. She's working like 2 freaking jobs. Barely probably even has an hour of free time to do whatever the hell she wants. Also, now she's got a rash. I sent her an image saying Good night. I missed the notifications for some reason. The symptoms. Alright, any who's in hits. Who's in wits? Where was I? Okay, the ground, of course. Yes, of course, the ground. And the game. The other game, not this, not the game I just made us lose. The game with the okay. So, it would be called The Sea of Greed. Alright? Because when I imagined the world dying out, I imagined the world encompassed by purple-colored water, the ocean. Just to like here's a land, and here is. Sorry, guys, you're gonna have to be in the purple water for a second. Here's the water, and here's the land, and here's the water slowly rising up, and boom. Everything encompassed by the Sea of Greed. So it starts off like this. Well, it doesn't start off like this, but there's like a little instance in my mind that started off the entire department. It starts with my Vulcan girl, Volca, somewhat drowning within the Sea of Greed. And a hand pops up. Now, originally, the thought wasn't with this. The thought was actually original characters that I was making. But then I decided later on, you know what? I feel like I should have all 5 of these characters, who are my favorites from 3 mobile games that I was invested in, and who's had their servers shut down, be a part of a team instead of this random set of characters, which makes no sense. At least with this one, it makes sense, if you know the history behind what happened. But all the 5 characters, their worlds shut down, whether by greed or by other means necessary. I'm just going to imagine it's greed because it kind of makes sense. And also it makes the Sea of Greed title make more sense. I don't know. Kind of makes sense, right? At the very least, we know that that's what's happening with Loka. The other characters, I don't quite remember. It's been a while. I know both games had their own grind. Could be that the grind got too much. There was too many paid for deals and a lot of other stuff. And then boom, that was it. The game died out. And games died out. Nobody played it anymore. There's no new content. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. At that point, the games didn't have any new content. All 3 of them. This one hasn't been getting any content for a while now. The only recent content we've gotten so far, which is a few months ago, I think, was the 3 versus 3 arena. But it's just more arena, more PvP nonsense. There haven't really been any decent PvE-based content. Which I guess some people probably don't care for that because they like PvE better for some reason. Not me, I hate PvP. PvP freaking sucks, especially in a game where there's a whole lot of random numbers and nonsense to occur. Especially in a game where stun locking and freeze locking is a stupidly viable strategy for many teams. I've always thought that freeze and stun should lose its effectiveness throughout the entirety of the round. So, you stun a character so many times that the resistance towards that effect is increased significantly. That would make stun locking and freeze locking an issue, especially if a freaking character is able to stun lock the entire team, including the back line. What I call bullshit. Now that's what I call bullshit. Hey, cat. Ant! Punch the ant! I punched the ant, but I think it jumped on my hand and jumped down on the ground. Stop the ant! I think. Wait, there it is. There we go. Don't worry, I got socks on. There are socks with how dirty this cat makes the floor. No matter how many times I clean it, you still try to make the floor dirty. Okay. But yeah. Yeah, that's the That's why I hate the PvP in this game. A whole lot. I will say the only good thing about if this game does go away is I can finally be free from the PvP nonsense. I hate PvP. It's the most annoying thing in the world. Even like nowadays, I'm just unable to really play PvP games. I've not the temper for it. You already heard my gripe when it comes to like difficult games like Hollow Knight. Even though now I feel like if I were to go through the game all over again, I probably would go through it with less deaths. Maybe potentially no deaths at all. I don't know, I highly doubt it. That game requires memory of the boss's patterns and knowing how to, like, deal with many of them. Yeah, I feel like if I were to just take on the Grim in the Hall of Gods, then I should have no problem going through the rest of the boss fights at that point. Emphasis on should. But who knows, I don't know what the hell the stage is like. I'm surprised I was able to beat the artist guy in one attempt. But yeah, you heard my gripe when it comes to games like that, the hard games. Imagine PvP, where you're just constantly on that difficulty with, like, players once you've gotten to a certain point. Like, here's a good example. Sonic Forces Runners game, the one on mobile app. That game started off really easy. Extremely easy. But the more I played it, the more I was paired up with two difficult-to-beat players. It was starting to get unfun, and I was like, Ants! That's where you were, huh? Look at this piece of crap. I'm gonna leave his corpse there for all the other ants to see. There's death stench, apparently. If that prevents insects from coming into my house, maybe the ants are just too unfamiliar with the stench of death. Maybe they have to be reminded by crushing with fists. At the very least, no spiders. Spiders we have this for, as well as centipedes. Ants I'll just punch. I'll punch them. I'll punch the ants. Hey, Slab! I'll punch the initiative! What else did he say? I remember. I'm trying to remember the fairy punch father lines. That one reference to I forgot what that fairy was in one of the Legend of Zelda games. It's just friggin'. Oh man. Talk about another disappointment. I haven't experienced this because I didn't really. We're still like. Well, I guess we might not be struggling for money now because we are smart with it, but I'm not focused on our finances right now. But when money wasn't doing too good, I was only able to buy like the normal edition of Tina's Wonderland. Kind of glad I did though, because the DLC apparently is just another Chaos Chamber. And I'm not really a fan of the Chaos Chamber. I feel like the one major thing that this game is missing is a randomly generated dungeon. Think of it like Rogue Legacy, if you will. Dungeons like that, but in like the Borderlands 3 aspect. That kind of aspect, right? I don't really care for the Chaos Chambers that much. Now, turn them into a roguelike dungeon, where you go through rooms, explore rooms, and get loot, then we're on to something. That's the one thing that I feel like is missing in this game. I don't care about the Chaos Chambers. That's all just like killing enemies. I want to go around a randomly generated dungeon and looting chests. That's the one major thing that's kind of missing in this game. Maybe they'll add it at some point. Who knows? I mean, with what they've done so far in the, department. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say anymore. Because they just sold off the first DLC as some, thing. A lot of just disappointment in gaming as of late, really. Minecraft is 1.19 apparently. I've been reading up on the Reddits, and a lot of people are very, very disappointed with a few things there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a lot of people presumed that they were going to be improving upon many things. And I guess I could say this since I do have a Minecraft series, 51 episodes in, 52 technically speaking, but 51 publicly at this point in time. But yes, the people have been rightfully complaining about the lack of content within 1.18. It kind of makes sense due to like what they did with the Deep Dark and what they had to probably put the time in to do that. But they could have very easily done a few things throughout the entirety of like that entire process, right? For one thing, they said they were going to add fireflies. They said they was going to add fireflies in. And from the looks of it, it seems like the fireflies were going to be used as a way to get frog lights by having frogs consume the fireflies. However, apparently, some firefly species are poisonous to frogs. Keep that in mind. The word that I emphasized on. And if you've missed the word that I emphasized on, then need I repeateth myself. They say that some fireflies are poisonous to frogs. So, I can understand if they're reasoning to not add fireflies being the fact that, having to have a whole bunch of fireflies that emit light in mob form float around. I can understand them not wanting to do that in particular, and they couldn't find a good way to do the fireflies, good quality way to do the fireflies because of that. But to use the fact that some fireflies are poisonous to frogs, it's not really a good excuse. I'm not gonna lie. Some fireflies are poisonous to frogs, but not all of them. So why not just go ahead and add those fireflies instead? That's what somebody on Reddit said. No clue why they decided to remove the fireflies for that. Maybe at least add particle effects. Or maybe have something similar to like the Dragon's Breath, with the fireflies only appearing at night, spawning in, doing their thing, despawning like that. Go on ahead, bottle them. Do whatever you want with them or something, I don't know. I mean, we can encase chickens inside of a chicken coop and force them to constantly emit eggs. Like, I mean, yes, we are a cat. This would be considered inhuman, but we are a cat, you see. And we cats don't care about being destructive towards anything. That's a point apparent to this cat right now, who heard what I said and is now challenging me by trying to destroy the cherry bin more. Don't give me that look. Don't give me that look. Don't stand like that. Confronting light. You come now? Anyways. So yeah. I really don't see a reason for them not to add fireflies. They also made a subtle dig at modders too. Which is kind of bold move right there. There's some pretty good modded games I played. I can understand that, yes, some of the mods are rather complex, but there's still some complexity to vanilla Minecraft. As you all probably saw to the item sorter that I have in my, And how am I going? It's been a while since I've done a Stormy Sky. a stormy sky, or not really stormy, but like raining. I mean, this guy is a Swedish guy going to Ireland or something, I don't know. I mean, you saw the world map of the Chrome Wars universe. I don't even think Ireland or Sweden even exists in that universe. Or maybe it did, but then it got all messed up because of atomic manipulation. Because people were like, I don't like the fact that Italy's a boot. And then they turned it into something else entirely. I showed you what the map looked like, right? I'm going to show you it again because why the hell not? JPEG, a support icon. That's not it. Gallery icon special. Yeah, the map. The map right here of the Chrome Wars universe. This is what it looks like. This does not look like anything. Oh, and by the way, this is the toxic ocean. That's a part of the ocean, but it's toxic. And that's just a lava ocean. Because of a volcano that was spewing lava, and then the lava got out and made a whole bunch of obsidian underneath the water, and then the lava took over. But this is the map. What the hell happened to Canada? What the hell happened to the entire east side? Africa? Australia? What the hell is what even is this? If you were to look up a picture of the Earth, like if this was supposed to be what Earth looks like right now during the Chrome Wars, what the hell has humanity done to it? Or maybe it wasn't humanity, maybe the tectonic plates or some crap shifted so much that the globe changed to this. I mean, the Chrome Wars is using atomic manipulation and we got mechs all over the place. I mean, who knows? Wasn't before the entire planet was just like one continent? Wasn't that the case? Oh wait, no, I didn't even put the clouds in. What am I doing? But then, like, something happened billions of years ago where it then separated, and now we have the continents that we have now. Was that the case? I vaguely remember that, but I don't do history, so I don't remember. Me no remember. Alright, time to shade. No, that's. Well, yeah, it's shaded in the clouds, I guess. And now the sky. I guess we could probably have it be kind of this. Highlight a bit, mid-tone. Highlight some of the clouds a bit. What you doing, cat? You see another ant? You won't kill it? No, there's no ant there. You're sniffing the desk or drawers for some reason. I don't understand why, but we got ants on the desk and on the drawer. Two areas where there's literally no food. The area where there's any food is the cat dish, and the ants have avoided that entirely. Like why? What do these fools think they're going to find up here? Death? Is that what they're seeking for? Death? Because all in all, I'll give it to them. Crush them in nothingness. But it don't exactly matter too much right now, though, because I just killed like dozens of ants to try to get them the hell out of here. That's what we did. That's what we did, Cadillac. There's regular old black ants. No red ants. No warrior ants. Well, even if it is a warrior ant, we could probably just do... And, dead. It would not be able to survive the power of the fist. Or the punch fist. The fist of punch. Or the cat. The cat would probably eat... No, the cat would just drown them in her water dish. You like drowning insects, apparently. As the parent to that cricket or moth, I forgot what you killed. You gotta get your story straight, cat. If it's a cricket, that's impressive, but if it's a moth, it's not impressive. You just kill a small moth. Drowned a small moth because you thought it was funny. Any who's and whence. What were we talking about before? I lost track of subjects. There were multiple subjects we were talking about. I can't seem to remember what one of them was. And once I do this in the texture, I'm going to do the like rock bits and stuff. Oh yeah, we're talking about the Chrome War map. Oh, I keep forgetting to tell you about the game. How does that keep happening? How do I keep losing track here of the conversation at hand? The game with the girls who were stuck in the Sea of Greed. Yeah, because we're talking about the Sea of Greed, and then we veered off course from there. So the game is like this. It's a beat 'em up. You got a whole bunch of enemies and stuff, mostly pirate themed. It makes sense. Rose is a pirate. Kid is a thief pirate. And I believe that's all really the pirates there is. Chiyomi's a Kunoichi, and Jin. I don't remember if Jenny or Jean, because Bayonetta's Jean is called Jean. So I just call her Jenny for the time being, because I don't remember if it was Jean or if it, because I feel like I'm saying Sean, but it's not Sean, it's John. Jean. It could be Jean, but there's an N-E at the end. Oh wait, that's a cracked floor. I don't want a cracked ground. I want to do with a leafy ground. Leafy-like texture ground. You know, it's matter too much. Anyways, yeah. So you play as those 5 characters. And I think the game is pretty simple. You can only have 3 characters out at once. You got your main character that you can play as, whichever one you decide to play as. And you can switch out certain characters in your team that are like controlled by like the AI or something like that. Maybe it could be the fact. Maybe it could be like I don't know, the left direction. Or it could be left, or it could be. No, it makes sense that it would be a trigger because. Well, no, the trigger would be the gunner girl. So would it be L1? No. You know. One thing I don't know the controls, but you would have the ability to switch between the characters in the group at the current moment. And you would have 2 switches, triggers, so to speak. Let's say it's the directional pad for now. So the directional pad, simply put, left one switches out the left group with 2 different characters. And the right directional pad switches out the other group with 2 different characters, and your main character is still there. Which is whoever you decide to be in the party at the moment, the leader. Maybe you don't get to change the leader in the middle of the battle. Depends, really. Depends on what happens. I mean, you can change who you play as in Tales of Berseria, so maybe we could do that as well. I just don't know how to do it here. So the way that game works is different from what I have planned in store for this particular instance. I'm saying it like I'm actually going to make the game right now, but to make a game like that, I need a full team, and I need the rights to make those characters. Anyways, yeah, you have 3 characters out at once, and you can switch your left-hand and right-hand characters out with the respective characters. So let's say Volca is the leader right now that you decide to play as. You got Jenny to the left and Chiyomi to the left as well, but she's in reserves. And you got Kid to the right and Rose to the right as well, but she too is in reserves. So you press the right directional pad, you switch Kid out with Rose. Press it again, you switch Rose out with Kid. That doesn't look like I did anything to this texture-wise. Same thing applies to the left side. Press left, you switch Jenny out with Chiyomi. Press it again, you switch Chiyomi out with Jenny. Simple as that. Okay, now for the rock. Can you smell what the rock's cooking? I doubt it. These can be changed outside of battle in like a certain menu. So you have your middle character, which is the leader. Let's just Let's just use the Tales of Bessaria's, character thing for a bit. To give you a reference, here's what their character thing looked like. You got your leader to the left, and you got these three who are in the party. Oops! These three who are in the party, and these two are in the reserves, and there's the menu thing. This is where the leader would be. Your left hand and your right hand, the one who are going to be currently in, and these two are the reserves. Left directional button, these two switch. Right, these two switch in battle, not in here. And so on and so forth. You can change the setup and all that stuff. But you can only see these two following you from behind. You would probably be here, and they would be here and here in the background to back you up when things go on. You're going around, well, it'll probably be like this. Turn, or, I don't know, something like that. Alright, the rock. We gotta draw the rock. Just something. So that would be how you switch out characters. Then the actual gameplay portion. So the gameplay portion is simple, and the characters follow a certain class system, because I like the class idea. So, oh, ant. Dead ant. Dead ant. Dead ant. Dead ant. Something about the dead ants. Black Panthers. Black Dynamite talking about it or something. References, cat. Anyways, Volca would obviously be the barbarian. She would be the only tank girl in the group. Oh god, everything's yellow now. Maybe that's fine. Before everything was a little bit blue, but now it's yellow. What happened? Oh, light bulb burned out. Oh, wait. Maybe I unscrewed it? Nope, light bulb burned out. Wonderful. Well, I guess that's fine. The lighting is not that bad. And before the other light bulb breaks on me. Wonderful. Great. These fragile as frick light bulbs. Don't you look up at that light bulb. I wonder why it doesn't feel that bright. Honestly, I kind of like this better. Easier on my eyes. Not obscenely bright. I mean, I am going to have to get better lighting at some point. Before I do that, we gotta move out of this freaking house and into a better one. And I can actually get a better room. And I give you your own room where you have all of your stuff and you can make a mess out of that room. Don't give me that look with your weird spiky fur in your forehead at the moment. How'd you get your hair like that, cat? How'd you do that? Don't give me that look. Answer the question. Answer the question or I'll poke your nose. Anyways, yeah. Volca is obviously a barbarian, before I lose track of what I'm talking about again. I think Kid would be a rogue, able to move fast, dodge fast, and do a whole bunch of gold collection as well, or currency collection, whatever the currency is for this game. Then Jenny would be the mage. She would probably also have healing ability, the ice mage, I should say, since I do vaguely remember her having ice abilities. She would be ice, obviously. I think Volca would probably just be, explosive? I don't know. She is fire, but she doesn't really use fire that much as her main tactic. Mostly just uses her hammer to smash things, so fiscal barbarian-esque character. And Kid would be wind, obviously. Because I do vaguely remember her utilizing a tornado as her ultimate. Why a tornado? I don't know. Pretty cool. Pretty intimidating, too. Pretty intimidating for such a cute character. But, alright, the rocks are. The rock is disguised. Anywho's in which, right. So, yes, Volca, explosive barbarian. because he's got AoE attacks. Kid, a rogue wind element user. Jenny, mage / healer, ice user. Xiaomi, I think was nature, because she turned herself into a log because of the log jutsu Naruto thing there. I wonder if that was it. I wonder if that did originate from Naruto. Anyways, nature, I guess ninja or kunoichi, whatever the hell you would want to call that. And then last but not least is Rose, gunner who utilizes fire. So you got like the elements, fire, the 4 main elements, fire, wind, ice, and nature. Obviously, it would make more sense if it was water, but I will go for ice and then explosions. Gonna go for explosions! And I don't know why I realize this now, but hold on. Mr. Torg, voice actor is Chris Rager. Mr. Satan's voice actor, for English, of course, is Chris Rager. I just realized this. Like when I was playing Tiny Tina, I just realized Mr. Torg sounds like Mr. Satan and vice versa. I don't know why I realized that. It's hilarious to think about it. Really. Alright, what? I need to get some bushes in, of course. Yeah, bush. I need to get some bush and more plant life so this is less dreary and more lively, you know? Maybe some flowers? I don't know. Does Sweden have flowers? Where the frick's the bush? Ah, there it is. Oh no, I've never left America. I don't like flying. No, I don't like flying. I don't like heights, really. It's mostly about heights. I would like flying, the ability of flight, because then I wouldn't have to be worried about heights. The scary thing about heights is the falling, of course. And I am not the most balanced person on the flat ground surface, so, yeah. I don't like heights. It's something you can't really get over, and anybody who says get over it, go suck a black chode. Because you can't get over it. Especially when it comes to that. Spiders, somewhat so to speak. I'm still going to be freaked out if I see a giant one. I got to a point where the foo spider, I would have gotten disqualified, or I would have, people would have thought I'd given up on the food eating contest. Anybody get that reference? It's not even a reference. It's literally just explaining what the fuck the scene is on freaking animated I'm talking about. It's not a reference. It's talking about a scene, which I guess is referencing a scene. So I guess, technically speaking, it's a reference, but it's not a joke. It's a reference. What if it's fine? It's fine. Weird to think. Looking back at it, apparently food be 15 throughout the entirety of this series. I remember long ago when wait a second. No, that's just a cut? Pimple that I popped accidentally but didn't notice. And I remember long ago when I had whatever. It doesn't matter. The moment has passed. I remember long ago when I didn't like trying to remove a freaking. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted at all. I wanted bush. Removing splinters was the most painful thing in existence for me when I was young. But so much has changed. I've become dull, my body numb. So many years have passed by where the only real pain I have is interior pain. Stomach pain, mostly when I'm hungry, but that's the big sense. That makes sense. Now, he's got a splinter and trying to struggle to get that crap out. Can't get it out. Destroying a bunch of skin. He asks the Karen's help to get it out. And then I punch the door. I punch the door. I'll punch the door for giving me the splinters. Then I'll punch the wall. But I'll punch the door. I'll punch the initiative. Right, so, yes, I got a splinter in my index finger off thing. Healed up already. Guard out, punch the door, because now there are very rare occasions I've ever cried. The closest I've came to it as of recent was the last episode of Made in Abyss. You all know that show. The one where the creator has some interesting takes, so to speak. Interesting. But, gotta say, surprised at how close that was. So close, despite the fact that literally just well, I guess they didn't introduce the character in that episode. Technically, the character came in earlier, but you didn't realize that was that character, and then you just whatever. All that matters is that my body is filled with hatred and rage. Remember the 4 personality, or I guess not really personalities, more like personified personalities. That's still personalities, whatever. Remember those? The emo side used to take over a lot in the olden days. Now it's just the demon side. Demon side just wants to murder someone. But I won't let it, unless it's an inanimate object or ones and zeros. Rage is just fueling me nowadays. I can't get it out of my system. So much rage, so much anger, so much nonsense. Depression, anger, misery. Depression then turns to anger, then turns to thinking about scenarios of things that make me angry, and then thinking about me going apeshit and killing the things that are trying to either kill me or do something else like enslave me and make me angry. Makes me want to go on a freaking rampage and destroy the things, even though the things don't exist. Look, it's a whole lot of, psychological issues here. We're stuck in a very terrible rut right now. YouTube right now is the only, one of the only choices that I have to potentially get out of said rut. If not YouTube, then my shows, or I guess if not YouTube, then Patreon. If not Patreon, then my stories that hopefully will turn into shows soon because scripts and all that. I don't know. A lot of it just relies on luck, and luck just does not want me to live a happy life for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe someday, but not today, of course. What's wrong, cat? You tired? Just woke the cat up, did that thing with her eyes where it's just like that. You got your second eyelid that was still closed momentarily, then it opened up. Alright, this isn't a bush, but I do kind of want to have these flowers in a few of these areas here. Because why not? Some of these around, yeah, actually, that makes sense. Around the water here. I guess I should have this above the bush then. I am quite envious of, most of the animes out there. Most characters getting to live a pretty cool life, going on adventures and stuff like that. My enviousness is just, I want to just create those kinds of worlds. But living in them would be nice too. As the main character, not as a side character who would just get killed off or beaten down, obviously. It's pretty obvious that that's what you'd want. This seems off. Maybe I'll do this a bit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Real life sucks. I can understand why most, most of the people who make the animes, most Japanese people, want to make a whole bunch of high school-esque characters because apparently being older than 18 is the worst thing in the world. Especially when you have to work shitty jobs. That's what I would like for Luna's willing to come take me and bring me to her world, where you don't have to worry about money or a job, and you just create and pursue your dreams and live happy instead of living in misery because of the freaking current system where all the bullshit occurs and you can't really freaking fight against because it's all nonsense. I hate it. I hate it so much. If you want to try to make it out there, you gotta be a 1,000-aire, but now you gotta be a 10,000-aire thanks to the freaking bullshit happening with the crazy tyrannical dictator. Why? Why must people like that exist? I thought we was past this shit, but no. No, we just have to keep on pulling off these stupid genocides and wars because we just have some stupid nerve in our brain that connects. That's like, that's what the nerve looks like as it's wrangling in the head. And if they don't, those people in power don't commit a war crime, then that nerve will just strangle their brainstem until they're dead. And it's the only explanation I can think of as to why in the hell someone would do such a thing. There's a nerve inside their brain that's going to kill them if they don't commit war crimes. Now I understand why. Well, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Now I can understand why Tails commits so many war crimes. Because the Fox Boy has a nerve inside of his brain that makes him want to commit war crimes. Well, anywho's and whence, I hate life. And my life. Boom, 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 boom. Become so now. Is the ROTC cat singing the song. I feel you there. Don't give me that look. Stop looking. I don't know. Every cat has that voice in my head for some reason. That's the preferred voice for any cat, especially cats that look like this. Yes, the ROTC cats. Alright, it's raining now. How much is it raining? I don't know. There's more that I gotta do with the rain. What time is it? Oh, 40 minutes in. The background is done. Less than an hour. Well, I can't really think of anything else I can add here, so yeah, background's done. Alright, so there's the rain above the effects, I guess. I gotta figure out how the hell the lighting is going to work here, but for the time being, rain clouds. Ugh. I forgot to tell you about the plot of that one game I was talking about. Somehow. Oh, wait, hold on. I think this should probably be a bit brighter. It look like clear rain or something. Yeah, rain coming down on me. Coming down on you. I don't remember what the song is. Coming down on me. I know there's a song with lyrics probably similar to that, but I can't remember, so remind me in the comments. Let's add some interactability to our videos if we can, if there is going to be any in the future. Remind me in the comments, what song has a come down on me on it? Coming down on me, coming down on you. I don't think that's it. That's looking down on me. That's not the coming down. Coming down on you. Coming down on me. Coming. Is your terrible knowing of what that comes about? Freaking hell singing. Jesus Christ singing. Is let me out. I was trying to think of something clever there, but I couldn't. I mean, he would be saying let me out because there's something wrong with the yes side. I have come. Yeah, anyways, yeah, we were talking about we were going to talk about the plot of the game. I keep getting sidetracked. The plot of the game that the Sea of Greed game, with the 5 girls whose worlds have been consumed by the Sea of Greed because of what happened and the servers being shut down and all that stuff. So the plot is simple. The girls go on an adventure because their worlds have been consumed by the Sea of Greed. Rose was the first. She was awoken by a mysterious being of some kind. I'm not going to say who, but I'm pretty sure you know who it could possibly be. Anyways, yes. Rose was awoken, brought up upon her ship, her pirate ship that was a tank but is now a full-on ship. I'll make this like 3 or something. And then she decided to go around some worlds, and she finds the worlds with the Roguelife world. The Roguelife world. She rescues Kid, Jenny, and Xiaomi from the Sea of Greed. They looked like they were fine, but that was beforehand because they didn't know that the Sea of Greed was going to happen. The poor girls drowning. They are saved now, don't worry. Don't you worry now. They saved. And then Volca was the last one of the group. I don't know what's going to happen once this game has shut down its servers. Chances are I most likely might not get involved with another mobile game. Or at the very least, another online mobile game similar to that one. Another idle mobile game. I was wondering if I can go back to Knighthood. But I don't know, that game kind of got boring after a while, and it was just the same old shite. Yeah, wait, I forgot about that tidbit. I have no clue. Arrgh, it do be a shame. But anyways, the girls were saved. Rose was the one who started saving them all. And now, they're on their own journey, on their own adventure. Just 5 girls hanging out. I think that was technically what it was before. I think there were some guys in the game as well. For some reason, my memory is hazy of all the other characters. So, yeah. The plot here is simple, really. Whoops. They go on a quest, doing stuff, doing things, beating enemies down. Just, like the good old days, doing things their own way. And instead of doing things the way the world was. It was a nice time. It was a fun time. The game is simple. You're just taking down some evil pirate lord guy, and that's it. Except, when you get further into the game, you notice something's off. The Sea of Greed has somehow seeped into the world and is seeking to reclaim the girls back to the property. Playtime is over as the Sea of Greed sends in powerful creatures coming from the Sea of Greed, mindless zombies affected by the greed at hand. Of course, these won't be any of the characters in the other games, because we only bought the rights to those 5 characters. So, that is essentially the entire process of that particular game. You got the 5 girls trying to live out a new life. And the Sea of Greed returns once more. And they are worried. I would be too. If the entirety of my life was about to change before my very eyes. Alright, water drops. I don't know how this is gonna look. Maybe if I bring this like the 50 as the most. Maybe it's gotta be scattered a bit more. Scatter a bit. I'm not sure. How about overlay? Overlay could work, but I gotta do this properly. Well, hold on. And now, I guess we'll spread it out a bit more. More spacing. Oh, wait, no. You need to be overlay. Maybe like at like 20 or something. Nah. It's supposed to be ripples, so like 90 or 100, or maybe it's not supposed to be 50 for 50 opacity, while the jitter is 100 on both. Maybe it'll be 20. Maybe not 20, maybe like 30 or something. Very sure you can see some of the ripples. Oh wait, I'll make this one like 125 or something. And make this one like 80. Oh yeah, we could talk about that. The spoilers for, assuming none of you else watched it, for Fullmetal Alchemist. Since I told you we're on episode 55 earlier in the episode, in the video I mean. We got to the point where, believe it or not, envy, that's the word I'm looking for, killed himself. You know, humiliated so much, and at a point where he knows he's going to die, decided to just remove the stone from his body. You know, remove the stone and die. Hilarious, really. Well, still doesn't change the plan. Luna's gonna punish those two, regardless. This will probably be a hell of a lot better, because that means someone won't die. And that means there won't be a revenge scheme, and it'll be all hunky-dory. I was thinking about deleting part of the water here. On the edge, at least. Like so. So it looks like it's kind of going inwards. Makes sense when you think about it. Anyways, yeah, we got to that part. I got a funny feeling that a lot of things are just going to kind of... Oh, that's not what I wanted to delete. I want to delete the pond. I don't know why, but I get a feeling that a lot of things are going to go wrong in the next set of episodes. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that kind of anime anymore now. It had happened. There has been multiple deaths in that department. So it could still happen. Could still occur. But, yeah, I don't know. It's not like Attack on Titan, where we're just, like, constantly dreading the overlooming instance. And semi-spoilers for that one. Apparently, Tanami is... There's still another part that has to be aired. This is supposed to be the season finale, right? But we got part 1, and then we got part 2, and now there's apparently a part 3, and apparently there's a movie. Makes me wonder if the movie is in between the parts or something. I don't know. It doesn't quite matter right now, does it? Yeah, I can delete some of this so it's not... What do you call it? But that's still going on. It doesn't matter what happens in canon anymore. Luna's timeline is now the main canon that I'd rather follow. Also, that's not the drops, that's something else. Luna's canon is what I prefer now. Obviously, if you haven't figured out what happened in that so far. And there's still more to come, too. Still more to come. Why are you scratching yourself? Scratch your nose. How the hell do you scratch yourself without nicking yourself? Animals with claws, how do you do it? Because we don't have sharp claws like you do. So scratching isn't going to leave a gash. How do you do it? You can even hear, you probably heard it too, it's like that or something, but we hear a foot. Don't give me that look. You judge me, I mock you. Now she's giving me this look where one eye's like this and the other eye's like this. Now she just narrowed her eyes as soon as I looked at her. That's why we're talking to you. Don't give me that mad look. I don't know if she's in heat or not, but it doesn't seem like it. Seems like she might be on the verge of being in heat. Who knows? Doubtful that you broke out of that. I don't see a reason for you to go into heat, all things considered. Even though there's 2 male cats next door, but you can't even get to them anyway, so why bother? I think I remember correctly, this is supposed to be odd. Which I guess doesn't exactly matter. These are machines. Machines, I forgot how they got their power up. I know I should have like one of those things here where he like has his like foot on a thing that keeps him up. You know the thing where you put your foot underneath the thing and you like stay there. But I'd like to imagine he doesn't need it because he has strong legs or something. I don't know. Plus, it's doing that thing again. Yep, not responding. Here we go again. I wonder if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that stuck there. So annoying. But yes. This is your red horse. It doesn't have the same flaws that a real-life horse has. Better, faster. Probably lacking in emotion, but maybe you could still probably try to program emotion into it. The mechs are somewhat sentient AI, kind of, so to speak. All being a part of a war. Most of the factions work with the mechs, so they can all live in peace. That's essentially the entire purpose of the other 3 factions, like, making some of the mechs more utilitarian-based. I don't know if I'm using that phrase right. Like the water collector for like the Very Descent faction, collecting a whole bunch of water and stuff like that from the rain. Keeping everything kind of leveled, Even though you can just make water using atomic manipulation. Having a mech collect the water is still very viable. Make sure the shadows don't encompass this. Some shadows around here, yes, but not a lot. But anyways, yeah, that's the one thing that you don't have to worry about when riding a mech horse. Is that it's not going to try to buck you off or get scared of or anything, because it's a mech, it's a machine. It's a literal machine. Oh, ant. Did I kill it or did I just graze it? Nope, it grazed. And now it's killed. Why do you guys not learn your lesson? I don't understand. Maybe I should look around a bit and see if they have a nest somewhere that I can destroy. And just go on ahead and destroy, and then go on ahead and just destroy everything in that nest. Doubtful. I doubt there's a nest here. If there were to be a nest, I'd go on ahead, find it outside, and then just destroy it. Unless you got concrete here. That'd be annoying. That'd be incredibly annoying. But if I kill a bunch of them and leave enough of their corpses behind, they'll be discouraged from coming over to here. We haven't had a spider enter the bathroom in ages because the spider corpse has been here for like a freaking year. Stuck to the wall. Nobody's noticed it yet. Or if they have noticed it, they haven't bothered cleaning it. Which is weird, to say the least, because they do clean that bathroom a whole bunch. That's the only thing they really clean a whole bunch is the actual shower part, because that's the part that gets dirty the most. But they dust. They do dust. I don't know why they haven't cleaned the spider corpse up yet. Doubtful they see that as a way to deter other insects from coming over. Let's see. Now I need to go to fog. We're almost done here. We're like almost 2 hours in, getting quite close. We're almost done. It's 2 o'clock right now. Well, according to the computer, it's 1:58, but the actual time is 2:01. So I don't know why the hell this thing is still off. I don't know how to change it. I think it's going off of a certain time on all the clocks here, so yeah, that's not my problem. Oh, I didn't think I was going to go for that. Hold on, let me see what green looks like. Nah, not that one. We'll go for that one. In the rain, in Sweden or Ireland, because I don't freaking know. I only have references from what other people said, and even then, I don't really want to go fly anywhere. I don't know how long a boat ride over there would be. I mean, people take boat rides all over the world, right? But I think my main issue with going on a boat ride in an area like that is what would happen if a great white shark, the biggest one, is just like, good food, crunch. Oh, that's not food, but the hull's already broken, and then the ship sinks, and it's like, food. Wait, those are too small. I'm gonna go leave them to the guppies. And here goes all the other sharks, and they're hungry because there's barely anything in that ginormous depths. Like, seriously, how many ginormous sea creatures are in the depths of our ocean? How many? There's gotta be a ton, right? And for that matter, how does any fish survive within giant waters like that? Right. Anyways, yeah, that's also another thing. Can we invent teleporting technology or something? You know how easy it would be for everyone to get around with teleporters? We just open up like a temporal wall field kind of thing. Wait, do I want it to be like this? Nah. What about this shade of green? Nah. Now I'll keep it as blue. Maybe we can do some greens in the most parts here. Alright, now for the sun rays. The little bit of sun rays that's seeping in through the clouds. No, it wouldn't really be sun rays. There wouldn't be any rays at all, actually. It'd probably just be a whole bunch of blue rays, right? Kind of like this. It's raining, he's wearing his suit of armor. I don't think the original drawing was raining, but then I remembered, hey, the rain would look cool for Lieutenant Liam to be on a horse in. So yeah. Yeah, why the hell not? Also, it's been a while since I've done a good rainy environment. Okay, just a little bit of light, not a whole lot. Try to, like, keep that relatively tamed. Now, I thought I was going to be heading back to Forbidden West after Hollow Knight, but, I saw Jacksepticeye play Genshin Impact. I was like, actually it does seem interesting. I might want to try that out. The memes be damned. When I went into this, I thought it was going to be just all child characters. All lollies, all moe characters. Glad I was wrong, because we got a pretty hot MILF, or potential MILF. I don't know, she might have a child, or at least something that she acts motherly towards. So yeah, also, Bossum, which is great. No, story-wise, I haven't gotten far into it yet, so I can't really provide much of an input now, can I? I've had some weird audio bugs where certain audios from, like, later dialogues play over previous ones, and it's like double audio play, which makes no sense. Why is this all shiny? That's weird. Shiny wood, but it's not sticky or anything like that. Yeah, whatevs. Alright, Right, the shadow rays, of course. What's doing, cat? What do you think I did, All I did was move that. But yeah, there's not really much I can say about that in that department. We just keep on playing it. I'm debating on completing this, like right now, or posting this all tomorrow, and then getting started on the next drawing, which should be a really quick drawing, and play a little bit of the game. I kind of just want to play the game a bit more. We're at a point now where things are a tiny bit more, like, easier to work with now. Up until the giant drawing, I only need to do 2 drawings a week, and then there's the Patreon drawing, but we can do that, no problem. I know for a fact we're not doing Saturday because they have something else planned unless they postpone that. Like, never mind, y'all's working Saturday. It's annoying as hell if they do that. So hopefully that's not the case. Worst case scenario, I just start the Patreon drawing on the first week, and then I just get, like, other drawings done within that week. It's preferable that I could get it done within this week. Because next week is a mature drawing. Probably going to be, a continuing of an episode of something. Not going to say what. For those that aren't, well, at the time, this gets any views, that will already have been out for ages now. So, yeah, that's the case here. We're doing a mature drawing next week. So I'd rather get the Patreon one done with here. I'm not sure which one I want to do. I'm going to do a jellyfish one. Electric jellyfish girl. That kind of stuff. I don't know why. I have some morbid curiosity for electrical insect. Where'd your corpse go? Where the hell did this corpse go? I just gotta close-fist it. Ugh. Dang old cat, you're leaving a whole bunch of your food around. You go ahead and go get us inch, man, because you can't get your food in the dish. Flinging it all around the room. Look at that, look. It's your fault. You gotta fix it. Kill it. Kill the ants. Oh, wait, right. We are now on the effects part. Okay, teal area. I mean, we've killed like a dozen or 2 of them. So they're probably like noticing that something is off, that their entire clan member is dying out here. Eventually they will realize, shit, this ain't worth it. Death awaits us every corner at this time. We need to get the hell out of here and leave this place alone forever. Maybe don't make that light. Let me try a dark teal area. Alright, let's see. Dark teal. Relatively dark. Most of it dark in the back. Makes sense. You're scratching and looking at me. Stop looking. Don't give me that look. Those watery eyes. Shiny, glistening. No, punch stomach. Yeah, no, push stomach. Remember? She's purring and looking at me at the same time. Purr. I don't even know if you can hear her. She might be just out of reach of the range here. No. I don't want it to be dark. I want it to be somewhat light. Because it's kind of like daytime, kind of. So we got some darkness in the sky, some nice... Most of the color is in the sky right here. I gotta try to put some color down here too. Maybe some green. See if I can find a good green. And if not a good green... Actually, I don't know if there's any in here. I don't know where else they could all be coming from. Or why the hell they decided this was the place to go. Up here in an area where there's literally nothing for them to grab, food-wise. They're dumb. They're dumb insects. I don't understand. Alright, we really going to head down the damn sparkles route here, man. I'm mixing all the favorite YouTubers over here, man. Why are you ants doing this? I'll crush you. I'll crush even the big ones because you guys are weak and pointless. Don't you meow at me. It's your fault. Don't give me that look. seeing food being flung out the corner of my eyes. If only we had a cat that wasn't so goddamn messy. Alright, I'm changing that to pink area. I don't think we're going to have a green area here. I don't know if there's anything else I can add to this. That isn't going to be too much. I think that might be it. Alright, let's just go to sepia then. Not really much we can do here now. Let's just finish the drawing off, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, let's see. What's this? How's this? Now, how about this? Is there like a good green color I could use? Nice green sepia. No idea. A decent light blue, but maybe somewhat teal. Is that teal? Yeah, that's teal. That's too teal. How about that? Or too bright? That could work. Yeah, it would be a bit bright, show off a little bit more of the characters. It's just raining, a little bit of rain in the daytime. Pretty good. I would say, hold on, I got an idea. Before we fully finish it off, I would say that at least these mountains in the back would probably be around like 50. Shrouded by fog, maybe 30. Yeah, that'll work. Awesome. Okay, good, great, fantastic. And maybe this could be 25? Not too bright. We'll leave it at 10. Too blue. And maybe, hold on. I'm gonna go back to basic swatch. And maybe we can go on ahead and adjust the sky a bit more. There we go. Yeah, bright, dark. Okay, awesome. There we go. Okay, let me just put everything back to where it was before. Make sure everything's where it needs to be, you know. It has to be where it needs to be. And then there's no reason for me to save. Because I still gotta do this. With effects. Without effects. With effects. Without effects. It looks like it's about to rain. Very little. It's like looking at a game world that has no lighting and effects, so it's just basically just the same thing because it's has no lighting or effects. Anyways, there you go. Look, awesome, great, fantastic. Okay, all right, there you go, folks. So, I thank you all for watching today's video. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe for more, and check out that little playlist. Check out the. We got two new episodes up, one in Sonic Adventures 2 and one in Minecraft. I don't know why I'm doing thumbs up. We don't know how to do end cards stuff. We really need to do end cards. Maybe we can figure out how to do end cards. Maybe? End cards? Well, I mean, I guess I could do it like right here. I have to get into the swing of things. No, that's the wrong direction. Reversal. There we go. Sonic Adventure, recent episode, Sonic Adventures 2, Minecraft, the Minecraft RTC edition, yes, right here, awesome. So, thank y'all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.